Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. Wife cheated 4 years ago. I found out on New Year's Eve. So I'm really lost and confused. I have no clue where to start or what to say, so I'm just going to start typing. This New Year's was one hell of a kick of the nuts. My wife, 20 female, and I, 29 male. We've been married for 3 years and together for 4. We were talking just a little before midnight. Somehow we started talking about people who cheat early on in the relationship. Like when they're just dating and their partner doesn't find out for years or if ever. I was adamant that it still counts even if those two people have only been dating for a little while. I also talked about how the cheater is trash, especially if they marry the person they cheated on and never tell him about it. I made the statement that if I ever found out someone did that to me, I'd leave. I honestly felt that way when I said it. My wife kept saying if it was early in the relationship, it doesn't count, and how that shouldn't be used against the cheating partner, especially if it was years ago and they already have kids and plans for the future. Just how she was saying things keep me into something not being right. I almost didn't want to confront her, but I did. So I asked her if she had ever cheated on me. She paused for a second and then said no. She was refusing to meet my eyes and got very quiet. I asked her to look me in the eyes and asked her again, have you ever cheated on me, or did you sleep with someone early on in a relationship? She nods yes. I demand that she says it out loud. So she told me, yes, I slept with the guy when we first got together. My whole world shattered. I couldn't breathe. My vision got blurry. It was like I couldn't see, hear, or feel. And it was like the last 4 years ran in my mind super fast, and all the great times and just every memory broke. It all felt fake. The last 4 years of my life, some of my happiest memories destroyed. I left and went for a drive. I was just out on the back roads for hours. I eventually went home and we talked. She told me everything, cried and begged, and says she loves me. It all feels fake. Just everything. My life's a freaking joke. I don't even know if my 2 girls are mine. I never thought she would do that to me. She claims it was 3 times in the first month we had officially got together. I'm trying to get over it. It's just every day I feel a little more resentful. Our whole situation is a little complicated, but I'm biding my time. Have a few things to take care of over the next few months, but I've decided to divorce her. I can't get over it. I can't forgive her. If I would have found out in the beginning, I would have left then. It's going to be hard and may take a few months to do everything right, but I'm done. She's a stay-at-home mom. We have 2 girls together and my stepdaughter. So, gonna have to figure out where she's going to live. Maybe get her some assistance or something? I'll get paternity tests on my girls. If they're mine, I'll pay child support and try to get 50-50 custody. I don't trust her, and I never will again. Sorry for the long post. I just needed to get it out. I've not told anyone about this. The OP first responds, I know my post is kind of all over the place. Like I said, I didn't know how to say it, and mine's just, going so fast. I have so much on my mind, it's all a jumble. Our first community response from No Dependent 2207. Give yourself time. It will also give you perspective. Right now your ego is hurt. Your heart is broken and you're in shock. Time will let you calm down. Think without being clouded by emotion, and allow her to prove how much she loves you and explain to you why she chose you. Long Debt Man thinks, wow, OP, I'm sorry you're here. Please for yourself, get into individual counseling immediately. There's no need in waiting to do this. You need it. I would also recommend being honest with your wife, letting her know that you do not plan on remaining in the marriage. Be honest and let her know that if you had known this 4 years ago, you may have not been willing to marry her. No matter what, this is the mother to your children, so take the higher ground and let her know what her and her daughter's future hold. Good luck. Glorious Bastard 86 chimes in. I found out my now husband cheated very early in our relationship. We've been together for 15 years and married for almost 8 years amongst other lies that came out, but this one hurt the most. Not only did he cheat, but lied about it and maintained the lie for such a long time. The truth is gone. It's been 2 years since I found out, and I still don't trust him. The wayward spouse also said things like, oh, it was a long time ago. It doesn't count if it was in the beginning. Those 2 phrases don't make it easier to swallow, and it sounds unempathetic. Your spouse should be sympathetic to your position in it all, if they want a future with you, if they are lucky enough to keep you. The OP replies, she's very understanding and has made clear she justified it to herself because she didn't think we would last. She claims it was only in the beginning. Just it's hard to believe her. Trust is gone, and that's one thing I honestly feel I can't ever give her again. I love her so much. It hurts even thinking about leaving her. Then I get angry knowing I wouldn't have stayed had I known. I know she does regret it, and she says she hopes I stay with her, but understands if I don't. She's being patient and hasn't tried to convince me either way. Just says she understands how sorry she is. It breaks my heart that she's hurting, and I find myself comforting her because I upset her. I hate seeing her tears and hearing her voice small and broken begging me not to leave her, that she loves me and how sorry she is for hurting me. She's never done it again and would never even think about it. I want to believe her. I do. I just can't. That trust is broken. Moving on. Partner of 7 years cheated. My partner of 7 years says she was going to Vermont with friends, but instead went to Arizona to screw some dude she went to high school with. When she left, I told her I thought something felt off. So she comes back after her trip and it's the holidays, so whatever. Flash forward 2 nights ago, her personal phone rings on the couch. It's some name I don't recognize, so I went into the bedroom and said, "Blank is calling on your personal phone. Who is he?" She says he is someone from work, but her work phone is in her hand. She replied he must have tried my work phone but couldn't get through, which made no sense since it was in her hand. So I Googled the guy's name, and he is someone who lives in Arizona, who she went to high school with. I see posts on his page around the same time she was supposed to be in Vermont of some mysterious woman who flew 3,000 miles to celebrate his birthday with him, and another picture with his and her shadows, of which I was sure one was hers. So I pressed her the last couple of days until she finally cracked and admitted it was her, and now I'm here. First community reaction comes from Glenadell 55. She flew 3,000 miles to do it. That's a commitment for someone else, and it's for his birthday. You now know her priorities. The OP replies, "FYI, she didn't do anything for my 40th. We have another response from Thrilla de Gorilla. "Well, what's your next move? She cheated, lied some more, then lied right to your face. You know what she did. Do you know what you're going to do in response?" Next reaction from Switchboard Friend. The level of betrayal is simply staggering. She had this planned out and even had an alibi with people prepared to lie for her. The logistics are just incredible, not to mention the cost. It may not be the first time she cheated, just the first time she got caught. All those nights out with this group of girls, they are now suspect, especially if it involved trips away or overnight stays. You just found out. Take some time to process what you want to do, and don't do anything stupid or you can't take back. Get away from her with no contact without compromising any property interests. Then secure your finances. You don't want her to disappear to another state with everything. Do not sleep with her until she is verified as STD-free. Likely, the affair partner doesn't know that you live with her, otherwise he wouldn't have called without checking that the coast is clear. She's portrayed herself as single. Affair partner is also likely single because of the way he posted. There will have been an emotional affair for quite some time before this trip. Her friends know and support the affair. It is unlikely that any reconciliation will be effective. Her friends will make certain of that through their advice, as she is even capable of breaking off the emotional affair in the first place. The best way to break an affair is exposure, but in your case, no one other than you cares. Her friends are supporting the affair and the affair partner has no partner, so there will be no consequences to exposure. She will have loved being the shadowy mystery woman. Show her what a real shadow is. Ghost her. Next comment from Kobe Forever 2185. Make your house in order, finances, stuff like that. Get your mind and body right. No drinking, it won't help. Make sure you have your place to live. Vlog her on everything, no pain shopping. Find hobbies or do things you want to, it will help the healing process. Tell everyone what happened and get support from family and friends. No contact, period. Do not take her back. If you do, it's like eating their fresh vomit and will never respect you. Individual counseling, therapy, and write out just something to heal the pain. Do not go into a relationship if you decide to do so. Make sure you have healed. You might chase a good woman away who makes you happy one day. I have been where you've been, and it hurts. Trust me, I know. Remember, this woman took 7 years of your love and let that go no matter what happened between you two. This is not your fault. Moving on. I, 24 female, found out he, 35 male, is married. Hurt, angry, and struggling to move on. This was previously posted by me on another sub where I got some really nice advice, and someone there suggested coming here for some more. Basically, that's it. I met this man when I was 17 and he was 28. We shared so much in common, and although I should not have been so dumb to not realize the age difference was weird, I fell in love with him. About a year into knowing each other as friends, I had to tell him how I felt, and he felt the same. He convinced me that people would judge us, so we should keep it quiet. I abided. Over the years, I often got upset that I felt like he was hiding me, but he had given me literally zero reason to believe there was someone else and continually convinced me that it was for our own good. But people don't know they can't ruin, right? This guy literally lived a double life and I have no idea how. I'm so angry at myself for being so stupid and blinded. I obviously talked to him eventually about our future and my goals. He should have said he didn't want to have kids or get married. And I was so infatuated with this man that I convinced myself that I didn't want those things either, even though I definitely do. We made plans to move away together when he felt like it was appropriate to start telling our family and friends of our relationship, and the future looked promising. I'm at the point in my life now where it feels dumb to hide someone, especially someone I love, and not have a fulfilling life with them and my family supporting us. I have a decent job and wanted to make things official, so I got pissed and would constantly beg, plead, and cry for him to move in together and let us tell everyone. Before, when I would ask, he'd be really sweet about it, but it was now that he'd get angry at me for nagging him. To be honest, I now realize it was probably at this stage that he wasn't thrilled by what he was doing anymore and didn't care that much, so he started being more careless, and that's when I found out. He told me that he lived with a sister and her kids, that he'd taken them in whenever her marriage ended, and because they're so close, their living dynamic was really good, so he never rushed her to find a place of her own. So we rarely stayed at his place because nobody knew. But when we did, they weren't there. I'm not exactly sure why they left so often, but from what I've gathered, he spent a lot of time taking care of family in a different area. Before you ask, like I said before, this guy literally lived a double life. There was no family photos that I would have made me doubt the story he had told me. It makes me feel so gross when I think about the amount of preparation it took. Anyway, continuing. Like I said, he got kind of lazy and didn't care. We were at his place and he asked me to get something from the car. While looking, I've seen some trash jammed in the side of the back door, so I took it out to check if what I needed was underneath, and there it was. A picture of he and who I knew as his sister, holding a kid, each and kissing each other. I literally still feel sick thinking about it. I don't know how I was so dumb to not realize. I showed him, found my stuff, and told him I'd let him live his life, but I'm removing him from mine, then left. It's been a few months now, but I cannot seem to choose happiness and move on. I know I did the right thing by cutting him off, but I miss him, and I'm angry, and I feel like a horrible freaking person. I would be so devastated if I was her and really don't want to destroy her life by telling her, but sometimes I really, really want to. It feels like I'm going through every stage of grief simultaneously, and I don't know how to stop it. I have absolutely no idea what to do, how to get over this man, and how to stop beating myself up for something I had literally no inkling of. Do I tell her? How the F do I move on from this? The first community reaction comes from Aquarian Andromeda. 1. Tell her, for her sake, and for yours. Let her sting for him. 2. He was a predator, 17 and 28. What can you possibly have in common? He had access to your body when he was bored of mother of his child. He just wanted to get his dick wet. 3. Tell the wife. Don't let her waste time to live a lie. Next response from Historical Dream 295. I agree you should tell her. How she takes it and how she proceeds with life is her choice. A while ago, I found out an acquaintance or whatever was having an affair on her husband. I also knew husband. Although I wasn't in the middle of it, I still gotta hate myself for not telling him. Instead, I just chose to remove myself from being associated with either of them and the one platform we all communicate on. I knew if I stayed, I'd tell, but I will always feel guilty for not telling him because people like them don't change. Addition, you would just find another young girl to manipulate. So, you will add another victim to this equation in time. Dioki replies, just to add to this, I am not the only victim here, and I feel worse for his wife than myself. She is the completely innocent party here, and my heart is completely broken for her and her children. I do not hold any sort of ill feelings toward her at all, obviously. Do not feel jealous in any way, and I really am mostly thinking about her and how it would affect her life if all this came out, not him. Yes, I'm struggling to move on from it because he was a massive part of my life for a long time, but he makes me feel physically ill. I just miss the life that I had became accustomed to with him. Next response from Power Slay. Imagine if you were in her shoes. Would you want to know? Give her the right to choose her future. Present the information to her and let her do what she wants with it. Our last response is from Majestical Moon. You're a victim in my eyes. You were 17 and this guy was way older. It makes me sick. When I was a teenager, all of my long-term relationships were with older guys. Got pregnant at 16 with a guy 8 years older than me. Whether you realize it or not, the adult has most of the power and can manipulate the relationship. You wasted so many years on this guy. It's okay to be sad, but I hope you never talk to him again. And as far as telling the wife, I don't know really. Most people here are gonna say do it, but I don't know. Only you can make that decision. This guy's disgusting. There are many like him out there, I'm sure.